Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Musicians Talk Show podcast. It is episode 99.
Yeah, that was really nice, Dallas. Your voice sounds
The last
delicious.
episode before we hit triple digits and never see double digits again.
That's right. Hell yeah. And to the triple digits and beyond.
Yeah.
Like, what's the
And beyond.
quadruple digits?
Like Buzz Lightyear.
1,000, dude.
I'm one of your two
1,000
co-hosts, Dallas Dwight.
Yeah, and I'm Matt Tolley. I've got bang
Mastering
energy.
a bang, so expect him to take off any
Yeah, it
minute
tastes
here.
fucking great. This
Go through the
cookies
ceiling.
and cream craze. Jesus Christ. What am I doing to myself? Anyways.
So we recorded the Reckless Podcast episode 2 this morning. Here come the odds, dude.
Dude, I still have not checked out your podcast, and I feel like a dick, but I've been so fucking busy.
We're in a remote location. I'm still yawning.
Remote location. Doesn't matter where. He'll yawn anywhere.
Doesn't matter where we're doing
I'll
the
yawn
podcast.
here, I'll
I'm gonna
yawn
be
there.
yawning. Yeah.
I'll yawn anywhere. Anywhere I please.
But we recorded the new episode today, and we were talking about how out of everyone that says, let's start a podcast or I'm going to start a podcast, let's call that 100%
Yeah.
of everyone that says, let's start a podcast.
Okay.
I estimate, this is of course just complete bullshit,
Okay.
crazy estimations. I estimate the difference between the 100% of people that say, I'll start a podcast, I'm going to start a podcast, to releasing episode 1 on all platforms,
Mm-hmm.
I bet that drops 60%. So you have 40.
You think 40% of people who say, let's start a podcast actually get it released?
Actually go through and record and release and go through all the steps to do the first
Are
episode.
you talking about
'Cause
just anybody who
episode's the hardest one.
pontificates or anybody who actually records an episode? Because what if
Talking about anyone who's sitting around going, I'm going to start a podcast, but doesn't just say we should, says like, I'm going to do it.
all right, so let's take that number and let's say those people, out of those people, 100% is the people who actually record an episode. Is that far enough to say that's an actual person who's legitimately
I think it would
making a
drop off
podcast?
less there.
Because I'm just like pontificating that let's make a podcast. I bet there's a lot of people who have done
Right.
that,
That's
which
why I
makes the
think-
pool giant,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
makes it 40% probably.
60%.
Yeah.
60% drop off.
40%
40
people
left, yeah.
actually get a
And the first
podcast
episode's the
launched.
hardest to get up because you have to go through,
All the things.
you have to submit to iTunes, Google Play. Every directory has a different process.
And if
you
you're
have to get
serious
your
about
album
it,
art. You have to get
if
all
you're serious
the stuff.
about it, you'll have
Yeah.
a website and you'll have all the things that
You have
need
to have your hosting, which
Yes.
that's the website part of things, and money's involved. So the difference between that, so we thought it dropped 60%.
Okay. I
there,
probably agree with that. Very close.
The people that make it to episode 2, I estimated that dropped another 5 to 10% at least.
You think?
Yeah.
Just episode 2?
Well, you're spoiled because we've been doing this for 100 episodes, so you know
Yeah.
how easy it is.
Maybe.
But I think it drops another 5 to 10%. And this is of
You
course
think
just
people
wild
put out
speculation.
one episode and expect stellar
I've
results
seen it.
and don't get it and,
I've
and
seen
they
it.
fucking
there's,
quit?
There's
Or
millions of
what is it
podcasts,
about
dude.
one episode that you think is like they'll know the real work behind it maybe, or
Maybe.
if they've gone through the work to do the first episode, which is essentially the hardest one, like
But they're
once
going to
you-
think that's the work every time almost, you know?
It almost feels like that maybe, or they get kind
And
of
it is
get
work.
tricked by that. I don't know. So I feel like maybe 10 episodes is a pretty interesting area. Like where maybe people were just like,
Okay.
I don't know, do we really have anything, or is this just us bullshitting?
That's really generous.
Because
If
here's-
I were to be even a little more realistic and not quite as exaggerative, I don't know if that's a word.
Exaggerative.
I might
like it.
I might say 3 episodes.
Yeah.
3 is kind of the magic number where if you do more than 3, you're in pretty rarefied air. you know?
Yeah.
Like most people have quit.
Yeah,
Now,
that's what I'm saying, because I think that like maybe the depression of like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to really get good at this. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then also like
this isn't what I thought it would be.
exactly. Like all that's gonna set
What
in
am I going to
real
talk
quick.
about every week?
Real quick, I don't know about one episode. One episode seems like so much fun that like, and the conversation and the cool things that happen on one episode of podcast. I could see people getting hooked, but then maybe after 10 episodes, I feel like maybe like, man, this is a lot of work, and I can't really get everybody to commit to their schedule to be
Right,
here
right.
or whatever
So
it is.
let's say either 3 or 10 doesn't matter. Let's say it drops to 30%. We're at 30%. So we've dropped another 10.
yeah.
Then what's the percentage of drop off when you reach episode 100?
Yeah.
I got to believe we're in the less than 1%.
Yeah, I bet. I wonder if there's a way we can look that up. If there's a way you could filter that out.
How many
Podcasts with less than
how
100
many
episodes.
podcasts are there? Can we find that?
Oh
out?
yeah, that's a good question. You were talking
Last
about
I remember,
iTunes. Is that the way to
the
go?
number 14 million
'cause
is
there's
in
like
my head. I don't know
Stitcher,
where
and there's
that's
all these
from.
other things, right? There's all these other ways that you could have a podcast. What about just YouTube? Like, there's a lot of people who are just on YouTube.
There are now over 800,000 active podcasts. Active is key. So that's not quite exactly what we're talking about because we're including the people that have quit.
Yeah.
So
right.
there's probably at least double that. the people that have quit, you know?
Right.
Because I find podcasts from time to time where I'm like, oh, it'll show up and suggest it or whatever, and it'll be like, you like Pro Tools. Here's a Pro Tools podcast. I'll be like, oh, that's awesome. Maybe they're talking about the new thing that just came out. And I realized their last episode was like 2015.
Yeah.
And it's like screwed. Episode 22. And you're like, well, come on. Like,
stick with it. But maybe, you know, like you never know, because like just the person who decides to start a Pro Tools podcast, he's obviously interested in podcasting. Maybe, or he's interested in Pro Tools. Maybe he's not a good podcaster. You know, maybe he knows everything about Pro Tools and he's just that world. Tries a podcast and it doesn't work out, or maybe he's not good at it. Maybe it doesn't sound good. Maybe people don't even like the podcast. I don't know.
I'd have to guess it's a commitment thing.
Yeah.
Above anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, I think very few people rather are going to have the self-awareness to be like, man, my podcast just doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and we said,
or I'm just not good at this.
That's true too.
It's got to be like a commitment thing. Like, I forgot this week, I'll get to it next week.
I bet it's
I forgot that week, fuck it, I'm done. You know?
I bet it's more commonly just the fact that people don't realize they have to, how much it's going to take and how, I don't know, you get into a routine though, man. I feel like once we got a few weeks into it, like, I was already on.
And a schedule's key, and I think a partner is key.
Yeah, a partner.
Doing it by yourself is
get
hard.
Motivated. It's like working out.
Because I did it by myself.
It's like working out, though.
It's
like working out. You know, like you
I actually work out better by myself.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like having a partner for sure. Like, and I feel like I'm good at motivating somebody to get up. Like, I don't know, I have that personality.
I like the motivation factor, but I found it always goes away pretty quickly.
You feel
and then they're dragging me down.
Yeah.
Every single time.
There you go.
It becomes the other person.
You're a motivated and committed person.
But the other person's always texting me like, man, I'm too tired today.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm tired too. And then I just don't go. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or even when we're at the gym, like, I'm like, let's go hard. And they're like, I don't want to be sore. Like, dude, you need a total pussy.
That's what we're supposed to do. We don't get stronger if you're not sore afterwards.
It's like, dude.
Yeah. Well, hey. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, here's to episode...
I actually really enjoy the gym.
Yeah, here's to episode 99, and obviously 100 will be next week. So
yeah,
this is really cool.
So the reason we're in a remote location is because we are here preparing for the final recording session for episode 100.
Yes.
We had 3 scheduled. We've done 2, and tonight's the last one.
Yeah.
So we're here getting set up.
Right. So... and actually, Kyle and Drew are here. They're hanging out around the playroom, but we're going to record this episode. And it's actually unusual that we record this on a Friday night. So this will be a little bit earlier than usually we try to record them on Sunday. So that way on Monday, the podcast is a fresh podcast.
Almost an immediate turnaround. It's almost live.
It's crazy.
It's like 12 hours later because I release them at 1 a.m.
Right.
So we record them at like noon or 1. So
they're very,
12 hours.
They're very like continuous.
You hear them within 12 hours. Kind of like Bill does. He'll record his Monday morning podcast in the morning.
Yeah.
Bill Burr.
Yep.
And
I know who you're talking about, but maybe everybody else. Yeah, that's Bill. Who the fuck's Bill? Bill Burr.
Oh, Bill. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said
Mr. Burr.
But yeah, it's like Professor Burr does. He but he records them like 7, 8 a.m.
Yeah,
and they're posted by like 10 a.m.
It's a cool way to do it. I like that idea. I think you came up with it, if I'm not mistaken. And I like that the way it works as far as like mix it down, send it out. It's on the way.
Yeah, and I've got like the post-production process down at this point to like a series of steps that go really quick.
And now get ready to change it all up because we're going to video.
It changes, but it actually makes it in some ways easier.
Yes.
In some places, it adds a couple steps, and in other places, it takes away a couple steps. So
maybe it's a
give
and take, and
kind of ends up taking the same amount of time, I think.
Okay.
But
well,
I have the keyboard here, so I can do this.
Oh yeah, nice, perfect wireless keyboard.
Okay, there's where we're going to.
Anyway, so I'll take a picture of the setup too because I think
and it's funny. We usually bring the Zoom recorder and do that thing.
Yeah.
Which usually results in some sort of a quality loss because we're using the SM57s instead of the SM7s.
Nope, not tonight.
But we brought the whole rig tonight, so this is the exact.
All right, see if I can get myself in this picture. I'm not good at selfies. Selfie game is not amazing. Take a couple different angles.
I'm posing.
I think what?
I said I'm not talking because I'm posing. I didn't want people to think I was just.
I was talking the whole time, so my mouth's going to be moving all around. So anyways, I figured the trick is to wiggle it around in several angles, so that way
you snap.
Yeah, while you snap. All right, I think I got one. Oh yeah,
send it to me.
You're just chilling. You're like the first one I took, of course, was the best one.
Yeah.
Well, except for my mouth is in a weird position because I was talking.
Gross.
That's right. I still look cute.
Felt cute. Might delete
cute.
Later.
My mom says I'm cute.
You seen those memes? That's not even a meme. That's just a real thing.
Yeah, it is. All right. Oh, yeah, you can see my Bang drink, too. All right, so this is terrible podcasting right off the bat. You're not supposed to try and send pictures while you're on podcast because nobody can see or
experience the thing you're doing. Oh, hey, here it is. Oh, you airdropped it.
I'm airdropping it.
Oh, but it
ready.
Popped up, and now I can't do it.
Okay.
Try it again.
Well,
Listen to us airdrop photos to each other.
Yeah, check this out.
Here we go.
Why is airdrop so hard? It's so fucking incredibly easy concept. Why does it take so fucking long to connect and get actually work to work?
It's like Chris D'Elia says, if you invent something, make it work.
Yeah, stop.
All the time.
Stop teasing us with this fucking guess what it can do. Magically send shit to your friends super fast. Oh, yeah, but it doesn't work like
But it doesn't work
80% of the time.
Yeah.
Get ready for fucking a ton of misery. Like, if I didn't
so I
know
should
what
just text it, right?
Did you get it, by the way?
Did you text it?
No, I'm fucking airdropping it.
It popped up and said accept, and then it
Unbelievable,
disappeared.
Dallas.
It disappeared as soon as I looked at
Try
it.
it now. How are you now?
Okay, I'm waiting.
Come
I don't
on.
see anything.
It says waiting here on my end, too.
Well, who's it waiting on?
This is terrible podcasting.
Do I need to go to my photos?
All right, I'm sending it to you. I'm
in my
text
photos.
messaging it to you. See, here we go.
Yeah.
Whole thing circumvented.
Yeah, just do it the easy way the first time.
The thing just does not work. Anyways, now you have the picture that I took of us so we could post it on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I am beautiful. Thanks, Dallas. I
In
appreciate that.
the LA Maybe have received our first draft of the mix back for Fake.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Very excited about that.
The first draft is how close, would you say?
Very close.
Yes, I love it when that happens.
Just a couple little tweaks and we're done. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the best. When you get a
Taylor's,
first mix back and
for-
you're like, ooh, and like it's like, man, we gotta fix some things right
It's like,
now.
oh, we have different visions.
Yeah, exactly. That happens. That happens.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We well, I think
you got
part of
that
that was solved up front because we knew what Taylor
Good
did.
discussion, and you know who
So
he is,
we
right?
didn't just pick him out of a hat. We decided we like what you do,
Right.
So now do that for us.
Exactly.
So he doesn't have to change really what he's
Exactly.
doing.
Just keep being you.
I mean, it sounds massive.
Awesome.
So-
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I get
Super
to hear it
cool.
early, right?
You already heard it. You already heard the
No,
rough
like
cuts.
I want to hear the mix. Like, come
I'll
on,
show
what are
you
you
the mix
talking
after
about?
this.
Like, I heard the rough mix early.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear the mix, and then obviously I'm going to be at the show on February 21st.
Yeah.
So
Bring your friends. By the way, we have a
bring your
select number
friends.
of
I'm gonna bring them. I'm bringing
we have a
everybody.
select number of free tickets for anyone that wants them.
I'm gonna fill the hearse up and bring a bunch of people.
Do it.
As many people as I can fit in there.
Well, we got free tickets.
I'm gonna lay
you
down
and whoever
bodies.
You bring.
Dallas, bodies on bodies, and bringing them to the show.
Bodies
Bodies stacking them.
come out of the hearse like a clown car. 300 people in there.
pouring out of the hearse. Anyways, that's what the kind of party you're gonna be in for on fucking February 21st.
I'm excited.
Anyways, so let's talk about
Weekend premonition.
weekend premonition.
It's Friday.
Let me get my crystal ball out, and we're gonna make a weekend premonition. It's Friday, so we obviously haven't had a weekend yet, and we're just getting started.
What do you have planned though?
Oh,
this
dude,
is
so I'm gonna write a
it,
song.
I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a song, dude,
Okay.
and like as soon as we hang this up, I'm gonna write this song. You're gonna hear it.
okay.
Yep, you're gonna write there. You're gonna be there too, Dallas. You're
Wait,
gonna
are
write
you
it.
just saying? Well, oh yeah, I see. So we're writing. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this weekend.
Oh, I was trying to look at my calendar and I was looking at my photos. Stupid.
You don't have to look at your calendar. It's this
What
weekend.
do I have going on? Nothing. This is it. Rehearsal Sunday.
Oh, nice, easy weekend for you.
Easy weekend. I like those.
I'm going
Dude,
to a show
I'm
Saturday
going to
night.
be enjoying these easy weekends as much as I can because we have gigs like every weekend for a long
Yes.
time.
Yes.
a weekend off is going to be very rare this year. So
Dude,
I'm
this
trying
bang
to-
energy is banging. I gotta say, I'm
Yeah.
fucking jittering over here.
Nice.
I've only just taken like 2 sips of it.
Yeah, and you're like in a swivel chair.
I
and you
can't
keep
stop
swiveling
swiveling
back
in the
and
swivel
forth.
chair. Anyways, so more weekend premonition. I know that I'm going to a show on Saturday night with my friend.
What's that show going to be like?
I don't know what it's gonna be like yet.
What are the
man.
bands?
Here's the plan: is it's gonna be fucking amazing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have such a good time.
Next week you're going to be like, dude, the show sucked.
No, hopefully not. So yeah, is the fact that I set my hopes high, is that just more room for me to fall or be
Maybe.
disappointed?
Who are the bands? I'll tell you if it's going to be good or not.
Local bands, local
Bad.
Greensboro
It's going to
bands.
be very bad.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh man, that's a good premonition. It's a good chance, but we'll see.
Wait, do you know the bands?
I happen to respect the person I'm going with's opinion, so I will. She says it's her favorite. I want to see if it is
Okay.
indeed a good band.
Now, what if
And-
it sucks and you realize?
Oh, then I'm gonna have to tell her. I'm gonna have to tell her like, you were wrong about this one. I'm not afraid to tell her.
Wait, what were the bands? Names?
I don't know their names actually. I forgot. I don't have it prepared.
Okay.
And I don't even have my iPad on me right now, so
Local band names
Not
are always
prepared at all.
so bad.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. See what
I'm
happens.
sure people say
I'll
that
let you
about
know.
my
I
band
guess
too.
we'll have to find out on episode 100.
Yep.
Is there a potential like we're gonna have time to talk about that? Because we got a lot planned for 100.
We'll do like a normal podcast at the top,
right.
kind of
okay.
like they do with your mom's house.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll
do
work.
like a full
and
podcast
lead into
and then
that.
they lead into
Yeah,
guests and
perfect,
stuff.
perfect. That's a good call.
But they do like an hour, like a full podcast.
Right. I like the way they do theirs.
Yeah, I
I
like that
know
a
what you're
lot.
talking about. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well that works out then. So,
Cool.
anyways, that's our weekend premonition.
Weekend premonition.
I'll let you know if it all comes true.
Hey, what do you think about? And I'm asking you, the listener, this as well. If you want to hit us up, what do you think about adding like a soundboard to the show.
I like the
talked
idea
about that from time to time.
Yeah, I like the idea. We already have a lot of inputs going on and stuff like that, so it would add one more input. Do you feel any hold back as far as that, or is
well,
no?
If we're
not
using
at all?
my actual studio rig. We have,
So we could just use your computer. You mean
plenty.
as a soundboard?
well, we'd use an iPad, I think.
Oh, right, like an external. Okay, so but we have all the inputs and everything to do it. No problem. Yeah, why not?
Sure.
I don't care. I mean, what would you have, like riffs and stuff on it, or like inside jokes?
Might be fun. That would be good, and
Yeah.
it might be funny to also do like a weekend review because we have that every week.
Right. Oh, yeah, little clip intros. Yeah, intro clips. Totally,
Something.
totally. Let's do it. Let's
And
load
we
up
could
a
put the
soundboard.
intro on it because we're going to be sitting further back.
Yeah. Do you want to have this done by episode 100? Is that what we're trying to do? On
that
episode
probably
100?
won't work, but it's just something to grow.
You could probably come up with it pretty quick, an app, and
I
just
have
put
the app already.
Load it up. You
It
do?
was an expensive ass app, but yeah, I
Is
have
it?
It was like a full on soundboard.
No. So it's expensive.
It was
All right.
expensive. I think it was at least $25.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, hopefully it works good, though. All right, so let's load it up. Let's try if we can get it for episode 100. Even if we only have like a few things on it, let's get it.
I can at least put the intro on it.
I want to record
Now
my
the
voice.
trick is running it stereo.
I want to record my voice saying "fuck yeah," and then you're gonna take it. Actually, you could just take it from right there.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, and then
Yeah.
you could put it in there, and anytime, even make it sound like I'm just agreeing with everything.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And then,
Mark that.
and then I will say like hell no, and then you can use that part right there. Anything else you
This
want?
is all terrible. No.
These aren't terrible.
We're
This is a good idea.
gonna have to run it with one of those like aux cables that branches out into 2 1/4 inches. You know.
Yeah,
That's what
we can do
we're
that.
gonna have to run it in,
We can
yeah.
do that. All right, no problemo. I have that actually.
But
I have
then-
that right here in this studio.
That's good. That's not going to reach the interface though, so then
It's
we'll have
long.
to get some sort of DI.
It's
Oh,
long.
really long?
Yeah.
How long?
Want to see it? I'll go get it.
Yeah,
Hang
let
on.
me
I
see.
think this cable's long enough that I can get over there.
That cable for your mic is super long. Yeah, you
Nice.
can go wherever you want.
Here it is.
Well, that might work.
That's pretty fucking long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those hard, like really hard outside cables. or whatever.
That actually might work.
There you go.
This is the exact same one I have, but mine's not near this.
I think you bought yours because of the one mine. You
Yep.
borrowed mine all the time and you liked
Yep.
it.
We had it hooked up to the
Yep, to the board.
Yep.
The X32. Cool. All right. So that's what else do we want?
Well, that's all we needed.
That's all we needed. Oh, there's my iPad
So we
right
can
here
do that,
blending
man.
in black. I didn't even see it. All right. I just wanted to see the list of topics.
Yeah,
know
I
what
got 'em
wanna
here
talk
too.
about. There's a couple things, but I don't know what order.
Okay.
Pick one.
You said recording setup. What did you want to talk about?
Oh, how we do our this recording, like, because I think it's our efficient style.
Okay. We've done it basically the same way all
yes.
3 times.
That's
so we
why I
can-
wanted to talk
Want to
about it.
reveal that?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it.
we can just talk about our setup before we do episode 100.
Right.
Okay, you want to go into it? You're the master of this, obviously.
Sure. I basically just bring my whole studio to the playroom.
Yeah.
So I
Talk about
brought
what your
my
studio is, yeah.
I brought my iMac runs everything. I bring my interface with the expansion and a headphone amp.
The iMac, I'll say, is super small and compact now. Like, it's not the gigantic thing it used to be, and it's super powerful.
Well, this thing's not. I mean, it's not small. It's 27 inch.
That's 27, but I mean, like, thin and I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy though.
Seemingly wieldy.
It's not meant to be carried around like I carry it around.
No,
But I bring it here for these.
you know,
and
my
then
friend puts it in a suitcase with towels.
Okay.
It works pretty well.
I
He
still
can
have the
roll
box
that
for
around.
it, so sometimes I can bring the box in.
Sure.
It, but this is
Anyway, so your iMac
simple.
is the heart of everything, obviously, and that's just straight from
Yeah,
the studio.
same
So
thing as
everything
home,
is
yep.
recorded as exactly how we would do in your studio there.
Yep.
But our input interface is the new.
Yeah, I
Focusrite.
just upgraded those for
Yep.
these sessions.
Sure.
Because we weren't going to have enough inputs with just 8.
Right.
So I upgraded to the new Focusrite Scarlett 18920, where I originally had the old
Yeah.
18920.
Yeah.
And then I also got the Octopre, which is another 8. So I have 16 now. So that's
Okay.
plenty to do
Our
anything
input
I ever
stuff.
need.
And then you have your headphone
And,
splitter.
what we did in the past is we used the X32, but the band
Right.
owns the X32,
Right.
not me now.
Right.
So I can't really bring that for personal stuff. So
The band would have to charge you rental fees.
yeah, like I charge them rental fees when it
Yeah,
was.
exactly. Comes back around.
We'll call it even.
No, so hey, well, I was going to say the biggest thing though, being that we do silent recording other than the drums, obviously, because we want
Right.
real drums. Like we like the idea of being able to record real drums.
Yep.
Even
So
if we
have
do go
the
back and
drums-
sample later, but we,
Yeah.
you know, like if we get good sounds, we get good sounds.
So we have the drums mic'd in the room.
Yeah.
And then
and everybody else is direct.
everybody
in,
else is direct
in some
guitars
way.
and bass and stuff.
Exactly.
And then we do
So
vocals.
I'm just going to go in through a direct
So-
in box, right? Is that what I did last time? Yeah.
No, last time you ran the Kemper.
No. For the bass?
bass, yeah.
Oh, I did.
That was when I was playing.
So
drums.
this time I'm just going to go direct in.
right? Yeah.
So this can be significantly less awesome on the bass. Damn it. Okay, well, it's a fine. I'm going to be focused on singing mainly. I'm going to put a straightforward bass line down. Anyways, we don't even need to talk about that.
Mhm.
Whatever
we
we
don't
do.
know what we're going to do yet.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I know how I'm going to approach it. You know what I mean? I need to make sure I can
I'm
get
chug
two
hard
parts.
on the low string.
Yeah. You know, though, I was thinking about it. It's like two things I have to take care of. I don't just have the whole time to listen and write lyrics.
Right.
I'm going to be like working on the song too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make it simple on the bass. That's my idea. So
Yeah.
anyways, that's a little insight into what's happening on episode 100, I guess.
Yep. I'm playing a little bit of guitar.
We're mixing
Kyle's
up
gonna do some
instruments. We're
guitar.
changing shit up a little bit.
And Drew's going to do drums.
Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, how do we get off onto that subject?
Recording.
Recording setups, yeah. So everything else is direct in, and that way we can just record the drums, and we can do a live take, and then do
We do
vocals
everything
after.
live. Yeah.
And we do
And
vocals
so far,
afterwards.
we have not done a click track, right?
We didn't
for
do
any
a
of
click
them.
track. No. I don't
Like
think so.
that.
I think the last 24-hour EP we did, though,
The
right?
last 24-hour EP we did, but none of
Yes.
these sessions have had a click
None
track.
of these sessions.
Which has been really fun.
That's cool. That's nice. It's freeing.
Yeah.
You know, like we talk about too the perfectionist aspect of this. This is all an exercise in letting go of the perfectionism.
Oh, yeah.
and also just getting a song out. Like you'd be surprised at what you can do if you just put your emotion into something and put some time and effort into something, and let it happen, and don't be so critical on it. Like just see what your talent right now, your skill level is right now. If you just blurt something out, kind of essentially is how it works on your guitar or on your drums or whatever you're doing. And that's what it is. You're not pushing to the edge. You're not trying to write the most complex song you've ever written before, because that's not the point here. Like that's something you're going to have to perfect and take time over. This is something that we can all put out quickly. And it turns out some of the coolest songs are written like this. And that's why we've heard this. That's kind of was your idea when you started the 24-hour EP, was that the best songs are written quickly. Like they're written in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And
we came up with a
also,
couple good ones.
and something I've always thought about is the fact that when you get new people together, when you have a whole new group of people and they've never jammed before, or maybe some people have jammed before, but not all of them have jammed together, and it's a new vibe, a new sense of, and what we always do is get food before. It's like it becomes a new sense of camaraderie, and then a song is written. And then that always seems to be inspiring and charging, energizing, you know what I mean? So that to me is the idea like behind this whole thing. And this adds a lot of that. Switching up the lineup instead of just having the same lineup for 3 songs is a really cool idea in my mind. I really like this. And it makes episode 100 full of content because we're going to have all those guys back on. I say they're all guys, so I can say all those guys back on, and it'll be fun to have.
Experience.
Yeah, it'll be fun to talk back and relive them. And then also, it turns out all the people we picked, and this was not a coincidence, are people who were on the episode and throughout our podcast who have been on episodes and made appearances and talked, and so that's going to be cool to relive moments they were on the podcast. Also, that'll be a 100 episode thing.
Definitely. And then we're obviously going to be debuting the songs themselves as well.
Yes, which I'm super excited for. Already the first 2 are written, and I'm so happy with how it's working out.
Yeah, I mean, I've mixed them all. They're done.
They're great.
So
they're great.
But I don't think the guys have listened to them yet. So it'll be kind of like we can just show them in real time.
So that's kind of cool too. And they obviously know what the song sounded like in the time.
They probably completely forgot, like I did.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a surprise. So cool.
Because you write them so fast and then you get done so fast.
Yeah.
That by the time like I get home to mix them and stuff, which sometimes is right after, I forgot completely what it sounds like.
Right. But what's cool though is like you get to sit and do the producer side of things and then take this thing and it's almost removed from it. You're removed from it and kind of reapproach it now. Now I'm like, how does this song sound like as a whole, and how do you make it, fit? And that's the cool
sometimes
thing. And you're really good
it's
at that.
hard to do some of the editing stuff when you're not on a click. Because like for example, if Seth flubbed a little fill or something,
where do you put it?
You'd have to scoot it around and just kind of guess until it sounded right.
Exactly.
Which gets you a pretty organic feel too, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
I like when people say that. It has a really organic feel. Do you mean just like not good? Like what does organic mean?
What does organic mean?
Not perfect?
Loose?
Bad?
Not tight? Totally. No, yeah, but organic maybe means spontaneous sounding. But spontaneous is never perfect.
I think organic means random almost.
Random maybe. Maybe.
Like no human perfectly repeats itself like when he's playing a drum, for example. Drums is the biggest thing I think of when I think
and
of
it's so easy to understand because of the Easy Drummer software stuff. If you listen to that stuff, and it's pretty good, like there's some pretty good stuff on there, but it's not, like you can hear that it's a computer. Like it's something very obvious about it. And that is something to me.
But that's the performance of it, not the sounds.
Exactly.
Like if you were to spend hours and hours and hours dialing in a performance with a computer, you could make it sound super real without tweaking the sounds themselves.
Yes.
But
that's the idea.
Because the drums themselves always sound super real when you put them together. But
sure.
It's the programming of it that usually falls short.
And it's the feel though. There's a little bit of that that out of time. Like it's not perfect. Like I don't understand how a human being could be perfect over without several takes and several like punch ins and whatnot. Like and there are people who will fucking do some crazy shit, but there's still some shit in there that's not perfect, and it's fine.
Sure,
it's fine. It's like as far as like the human listener is concerned, it's not an issue, And the average listener is generally not concerned about perfection in any area, really. Do you know what I mean? Like what is it that makes a good song? Is it the perfection of the notes? That's an aspect of it, and that's cool. Like when it's really played really, really well. But I don't think that's what a good song is about or what music is about.
Yeah, I mean, time and time again, it's proved to not be the case.
Yeah, it's the passionate and the emotional attachment to it. So, you know what I mean? Like it's that aspect plus musicianship. There's that's what makes great songs and great, music.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know how we got off on that, but
the computer doesn't often make you feel things, like.
Yeah, exactly. There is like a little bit of a connection, a disconnection behind any kind of emotion. Obviously, computers have no emotion, so that's it. Interesting.
Although I guess certain EDM drops can really hit you.
Right. But isn't that like hitting you in more of your technical mind? Like your technical mind attaches to that almost, and it's like, oh my God, it's so like perfect or so like, what's the word? Relentless almost. Like that's what makes me feel like when EDM is playing, it's just like it's coming, and here it comes some more.
Yeah, you feel it.
It's built and it's coming. Yeah, exactly. And it never runs out. How does it like keep going up? You're like, what?
And then
yeah.
You're like,
I love your fucking EDM beatbox. It's great, dude. Oh shit, that's great. Awesome.
Someone did like an EDM beatbox. It was like, bow.
Dude, David can beatbox like a motherfucker, dude. David.
Oh, really?
I was playing acoustic guitar the other day, like to one of our songs. I was playing acoustic Love Lies, and he started beatboxing, dude. I was like, holy shit, like that's good, dude. Like,
that's funny.
And it works. It's so fucking cool. He can.
You guys should release the acoustic version then.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. We'll talk. We're talking about that. I'm gonna talk to you about that soon, actually.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. Anyways. So, some cool shit happened today. I kind of wanted to bring up
cool.
And we are a rock podcast. I will go ahead and just clarify that. But current events will happen, and I think we can talk about it. And there's some things I want to like talk about this. But Eminem dropped a surprise album release today, which is really cool. I dig Eminem. I like some of his stuff, and it's, I'm intrigued by his persona and all that. But surprise releases, man. Like I'm on the fence about them, and I wonder where are the benefits, what are the cons, what are the pros to it? Because we've seen it work and we've seen it not work. There's a lot of cases where it worked. Like actually, you know what I mean? Like, and it obviously depends on how big the band is. The band has to be big. We're talking.
I think that's
major notoriety bands.
Yeah. You have to be quite famous to pull it off.
Well, not only just to pull it off for it to even matter.
I don't even think you have to be quite famous. I think you have to reach like legendary status.
Yeah, exactly. Before you even attempt it, before it's even on the table for you. Because like, what is anybody going to care if they don't know who you are? Like, they're not going to.
Now, you were asking why release a surprise album?
Yeah, what's the appeal?
I think cutting all that buildup could be kind of cool.
Well, and what about saving cost on promotion? Because you have to pay to promotion, right?
That's also very true. But if usually the people that do it, that's not an issue. But that's a good point.
If it cuts off their bottom line, though, they don't have to sell as many records if they didn't fucking promote the shit out of it for 6 months.
Cancels itself out, I guess. But
I would say so. It cuts their bottom line.
But let's say the Rolling Stones drop a new album tomorrow.
Right.
That's a big band.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they can afford to do that. They won't need promotion for their new album.
Consider if they've been telling us they're going to drop a new album for 9 months, what's going to be happening? Everyone's going to be saying, I hope it's good. I really hope it doesn't suck. And the Chinese democracy thing happens where the anticipation gets so big that no matter what it is, it sucks.
And expectation gets so high. It's like, oh my God, this has got to be good. It's been 8 years. He's been working on it for 8 fucking years. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
And then it drops.
And then they drop it, and there's no possible way anything could live up to what you've done.
8 years of hype.
To what you've built up,
8 years he's been working on it. So anyways, I think it was 8, right? It might be.
So the surprise album
8
might
or
be
10.
It was like 14. I think.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I was underselling it big time. But anyways.
They started working on it right after Use Your Illusion.
Right.
And it was released in 2008.
Right. Damn. Damn. Anyways, so that kind of thing, like you wonder what the benefit is to dropping but that's it. I
think that's a good way to kind of get people to just shut up. Like, I don't want to hear if you think you're going to like it or not. Just here's the album.
Yeah.
Like,
and it maybe
you don't have time to to make up your mind before it hits you.
Right. You don't have time to contemplate what it could sound like and potentially, and have your hopes up.
You don't have time to get all that shit in your head.
You saw that ruins your new album.
As an artist.
Okay, and then my other thing about this is, how does one pull off a surprise album? How does everybody miss it? How does nobody know that there's like this new,
Well, you're
like
assuming everybody's
Sevenfold.
paying attention to every artist all the time. And that's
I don't know. I would assume the bigger artists.
Could you tell me what Eminem's been doing this week?
Well, I definitely couldn't. I'm not
could
that
you tell
kind
me what
of
Guns N'
person.
Roses has been doing this week?
If you're a music news, site, Metal Injection or something, like, wouldn't you know Avenged Sevenfold's making an album? How do they?
They don't tell you. They usually tell you.
What?
They usually tell you.
They tell you when it drops, yeah, but I mean, like...
Well, they'll usually tell you, like, we're in the studio doing this, that, and the other, but if they don't want you to know, they won't say that.
Exactly. So you're saying the only way to know is the artist has to tell them, and if nobody else...
the artist or someone in the artist's camp.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in recording an album,
Yeah, but if you keep it real small...
Friends...
Producer, engineers, they're not going to tell anyone. They don't give a shit.
But how about friends of the band that are, like, around the scene? And
that's who you have to try to keep it away from.
That's who's going to find out. They're going to be like, well, where have they been for the
beggars and hangers-on.
Yeah. Unless you... maybe the idea, the trick is to just write as fast as fucking possible. Well, they were only in the studio for fucking 6 hours. Like, I don't know how we could ever tell they wrote a fucking album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But still, you have the mixing process, the revision process. The vocals are done in Vancouver.
Sure.
The guitars are done in England.
I'm talking about, like, the actual
actual
tracking of the album would be the only part that's perceivable to the public. Like, that they all get together, but they're not playing live shows, and they're somehow getting together. They're getting together at some studio, some big studio. Like, because there's only so many studios.
Yeah, that stuff does get out, but I don't know. I don't think anyone's really paying that close attention.
I know, not anymore. Maybe back in the day when there was like only a few places they could go to record.
Bands.
Yeah, and how many studios and how many record labels and like.
When there are 10 bands, you can follow all of them.
Sure,
but now
right.
Now you yourself have a band. You're not worried about you totally. As in everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got their own band now. Now we're just all musicians listening to other musicians. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be dude. I never thought about that concept. If everybody just became a musician, we'd all just be musicians listening to music. But musicians listening to musicians.
Could you imagine like Osama bin Laden like practicing guitar?
He's like, oh, have you heard Osama's new record?
Yeah,
he dropped it last week. Well, everybody's got Pro Tools now. You got Pro Tools on your iPhone. Yeah. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't have your record yet.
Yeah.
Wait, you're 15 years old and you don't have your new record yet? You don't have your debut record? It's like, what do you play? The kazoo? What the fuck? It's like, dude, that's the easiest instrument ever. You don't even have to know any notes. Give me that kazoo.
I'm dropping an album tomorrow.
I'm dropping an album tomorrow. Yeah. He's got perfectionism, dude. He just can't get it right.
Just can't get it right.
Just can't get it just right. That kazoo is an interesting instrument. A lot of inflection. Dallas so got the impression. I knew I could probably get you to do it. Anyways. All right. Let's get serious here.
I don't know.
If everybody in the whole world was a musician, let's get serious.
Let's get real serious.
Yeah. If
let's get down to brass tacks.
Had to play an instrument because it's like school. Like you had to go to school. Right. But right in the beginning of school, I can make this happen. Watch this, Dallas. This is a total gonna make this make sense. They decide, all right, through some study that musicians' brains develop better as far as like being able to organize their life or whatever. So they decide that everybody should become a musician. They make it prerequisite in school from grade 1.
Like math.
Yes, grade 1. You decide what instrument, or you could potentially change instruments along the way.
Okay, kind of do that now. It's just not as strict.
Strict. I'm talking about Chinese strict. Yeah. I'm talking about like you can't have more
Korean
than one kid strict. Korean strict.
Talk to me when you doctor.
Yes.
You seen that Family Guy bit?
You play violin.
That Family Guy bit.
Oh man, I don't want to. Yeah. So anyways,
he says something like, "I'm stricter than an Asian parent," and the parent just barges in the son's room and goes, "Are you doctor yet?" He goes,
"Are you doctor yet?"
He's like 8, and the guy goes, "Talk to me when you doctor." And he slams the door and walks out.
That's harsh reality right there.
Anyway, continue. Everybody's got to take music.
Yes. So then. Everybody learns how to play music. Therefore, the technology is obviously going to get there to where everybody has Logic or some kind of Pro Tools or some kind of, DAW on their phone, on their device. Maybe it's built into their fucking glasses. I don't know. Maybe it's in their contacts. They don't even have to. I don't even know, Dallas. But technology is getting pretty crazy. Everybody can record. Everybody's got an album.
Right.
Like you have to put out an album to graduate high school.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, but you're putting a lot of
pressure.
For example, you took math. You had to take math.
Right.
What have you done with math since then?
It was torturous. No, it wasn't that torturous. But
what have you done with math since then? You're not a mathematician.
I work in fabrication shop where I use a lot of math.
Well, I mean, like,
but that's all short math. That's all. Nothing like that long, crazy. No, right. I'm not doing formula, quadratic equations. Yeah. No.
So it's the same thing. A lot of people would just not do it because.
Well, maybe though the idea is that's not like so forced because you don't have to pass that type of math to graduate high school, but to get into what I do for a living, you do like that's for sure. Like you have to have a pretty good math background. So what they do they have to offer it to you and try it and say like, hey, how far can you get? And keep pushing them and get them as far as they can go and say like, oh, that you could do this job, or whatever. Or if they find out like, no, you really can't do this, can you? So we're gonna give you remedial math and you're gonna do something else, not math, be literature, literature. Something like that. You're not building bridges.
Speeching.
You're not building things that we trust people to be on safely.
You're not.
It's like, oh bridges. Shit, that was supposed to be 8 feet.
I did 8 inches.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So, how we got off on this topic of everybody's a musician,
right?
So, anyways, this was not even planned for, by the way.
Because everyone can be a musician, everyone can play guitar, but not everyone's an artist.
I blame Bang Energy for this fucking rant.
Not everyone will be an artist. Not everyone will be a creator. Not everyone will be an original.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But if you're forced to do it, at least you know the process. And
I think that's kind of where we're at now. Like every person you meet is like played cello as a kid. Like
we're close. We're close. I'd say we're 50-50 in society, like who plays music and who doesn't play anything.
Yeah. But even so, like you could talk to most people and they took piano as a kid. Cello. They played violin in fifth grade.
Even if they don't play music now, maybe at some point. So maybe that's what I'm not.
But even if what you're saying came true, that would still be the outcome where we are now.
Oh, right. Because they could decide. Right. They could decide whether or not they want to.
You would say, I fucking hate this the same way that you hate math.
I don't hate math, but I do hate some things. Yeah.
I fucking hate lunch. Whatever.
Yeah, I hate lunch.
whatever period you hated.
You saying that? Is that a skinny joke?
No.
He hated. Obviously, look at that. He hated lunch.
It was between lunch and recess, and I chose lunch.
Look at that. He hated lunch.
Recess was my least favorite.
Yeah, no, I loved recess too. But what did I hate?
You would still have people that just, we'd be right where we are, basically, I think.
Yeah. You know what I hated? Homework.
Yeah.
I hated the fact that I had to go to school all day and then they'd tell me to do more shit while I get home. Like, what do you think I'm doing at home? Like, this is what I got to do?
I'm not here.
Yeah, jeez. Anyways.
Yeah, that's kind of an argument. There's a lot of people that are pro homework and a lot of people that are anti homework.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is to drill it in even farther and make it a part of your, actual. But I just it seems too quick for me. Like I just was looking at this, and now I'm back home doing more of it. Like it doesn't even seem like there's any time to breathe.
Yeah, I would always. They would pass out homework, and I would always do it in class or in other classes, and I would be 95% done with homework by the time I got home.
Yeah. I was definitely in college.
Unless it was a lot.
In college, I did that for sure because I was really swamped with homework, and I was like, I'm not going to pass college if I don't do my homework. Mm-hmm. But in high school, I pretty much just took the hit on homework. I did not do homework. I did not like it. I did more detention for fucking homework than any detention.
That's funny.
Anyways,
that's weird that you get punished. For that. I mean, I could understand.
Well, just for not having it. If you wrote your fucking name on the fucking thing and turned it in with nothing on it, you still had your homework. If you don't have anything, if you say, my dog ate it,
couldn't even do
detention.
That. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I was in detention.
There were a couple times in school where I would show up and they'd be like, all right, get out your homework. And my stomach would drop and I would legitimately have forgotten that we had homework.
Oh, yeah. That's a special feeling. For sure. That's a funny feeling, isn't it?
Where you're just like, oh,
funny
no.
Funny not ha-ha funny, but funny.
Like I told you about that recurring dream I have where I wake up and someone tells me it's time for the final exam and I forgot I had been enrolled in this class for the entire semester. And I had not gone to it once.
Well, at that point, I would feel so free because I knew, this is it. I got one shot. Let's give it a shot.
That probably stems from the fact that I basically actually did that in college one time.
Yeah.
I had a class that I went to the first and second class of and then the final class of. And I didn't go any time in between.
And did you study any of it?
I failed really bad. But the teacher, it was final exam day. Well, the final exam day, she comes in and she passes out my exam and goes, nice of you to show up, and walks by.
So she was out to get you anyways.
I guess. But then
if you got one right, she still marked it wrong.
I had to obviously take that class again. And when I did,
dude,
I had her again, crushed it, got a 98.
Oh, wow.
Good. And it was like everyone said was the toughest. It was media law.
Right.
It was the toughest
class. Dallas, you can do anything you put your mind to. I know this. You know this.
Yeah, but I just didn't put my mind to it.
Sure. Obviously, you didn't show up for the class.
I also had gotten a full-time job working from home, which had thrown my schedule for whack because I was I always had work to do at home.
Right.
And when I didn't, I was at home. I was and I was living off campus in an apartment.
Right.
So it was I'm really going to drive all the way down there, not get parking, park somewhere random because I don't have any parking, which I pay for.
Right.
And then dude, USC was a shit show.
Yeah.
But you would pay for a $75 a semester, which isn't terrible, but it's still money, for a parking pass for a commuter lot, which is this big lot.
Yeah.
USC has 30,000 students. Let's say 20 of them are commuters.
Right.
Which is probably more than that.
Right.
the lot probably had 500 spots.
Uh-huh.
Like, what?
I don't understand. So it was like there was plenty of spots or not?
Never any spots.
Never any
dude.
spots. Damn.
There's 20,000 kids trying to fit in 500 spots.
Damn.
So you would just circle like a shark, hoping someone would get in their car and leave.
Leaving, yeah.
And then never would. So you had to always park in these fucked up places or on the street or something, and everyone was just always getting parking tickets.
Damn.
And so yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to go down there, do that, walk a 3/4 of a mile to the class, sit in there, sweating balls when I get there because it's summer, sit in there for an hour, get nothing out of it, and then come right back home because it's my only class today. Like, no, I'm just staying home.
No, yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. So you just took the hit on that class.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, that was not the right decision.
No.
But that's how I felt at the time.
That's how it goes. Did it affect your GPA?
Oh, for sure, dude. I had
I had
a
so
less
it actually
than,
went against you, though.
I had a less than 1.0.
Would you retaking the class
semester.
didn't fuck it up? Or didn't fix it, I mean?
I think it fixes it overall, but yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean,
well, yeah,
nobody
whatever.
really
I mean,
cares about
obviously, yeah,
GPA.
it fixes it overall when you add more shit. But yeah, I don't care.
If you get the degree, nobody gives a shit.
That's right. That's exactly what I thought about it, too.
That's
Anyway.
that's the whole phrase, C's get degrees.
Right.
Because once you have the degree, nobody cares.
Yeah. Hey, one thing that I realized earlier is that we got 2 of these songs done that we're getting ready to record the last one of what I'm calling an EP, because we've done 24-hour EPs in the past, and this seems like it's an EP, but it's not.
This is the episode 100 EP.
Yeah, the episode 100 EP. Okay, cool. So I was going to ask what we should call this EP. Should we give it a name?
I guess that. I don't know.
Yeah, that, or do we give it like a funny name or something that kind of puts all these ideas together? Because remember we came up with Power Moves kind of in the middle of just joking around at the burger place.
Which was funny, but a mistake.
Yes.
Because we released it as the artist Power Moves.
Right.
Which
should have released
not
it.
Connected to us in any way.
Exactly.
Like, why did we let that happen?
Exactly.
That way?
And then what happens is it doesn't get promoted. It doesn't. It's
now
hard
it's disappeared from it. I mean, it's there. You can go find it. I think,
it's hard.
Like,
you have
nobody's
to
gonna
dig for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to send it to people if I want them to hear it, and it takes me a minute to find it.
But it's technically released.
It's technically out there. And
But it's
released
not under my name. It's not under your name. And it's not under the podcast
No.
name.
And we released that under a free uploading service, correct?
Yeah,
A hosting
Amuse.
service.
And I know why we did that. It was because I think at least me, probably you too, felt weird about calling it like Dallas Dwight and Matt Tolley when we had 2 other guys that were there the whole time
Right,
doing
exactly.
it with us.
That is part of the reason.
Now, looking back on it, we should have just done that because...
Or we should have had them in it too. Like,
because it's our podcast.
Yeah.
So
well, it is our podcast.
You're stepping into our world.
You produced it. Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Right.
Like this is what it's going to be titled.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they would have cared because
No, I
it's a
don't
super
think
chill
so.
project. We would have put featuring, their name would have been on there in some way.
Sure.
Of course. But, and at the very least, we would have talked about them because they did the show with us. But yeah, releasing it as a separate band name was not a good call.
Well, what are we going to do this time then? Is it still going to
go under the Dallas Dwight Matt Tolley thing, the same way Beast and the Harlot did.
Yes, perfect. And then as far as what are we going to call this EP? We want to name it something when we get this last song written. Maybe we kind of collect all these ideas, see if there's one common theme or one, I don't know, something we can say.
I think it would make more sense for people to be able to find it down the road because we've been building it up so much to call it
episode 100
Musicians
EP.
Talk Show, episode 100 EP or something like that, you know?
All right, so let's think about a cool, like,
Which we had the
24 3P?
Yeah.
We had that. That was cool.
24-hour 3P.
So I'm wondering about 100 EP. So episode 100 EP, EP 100 EP.
That would be amazing. EP 100 EP, no spaces, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. EP 100 EP. It's kind of cool looking, I bet.
I like that.
Anyways, we'll see what it almost looks like fucking.
What is EP 100 EP?
What, I don't understand.
What is EP 1 Ooh EP?
Oh, I wonder if they're like one of those math rock bands.
Yeah, that's the breakdown we play.
Yeah, it is.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. E flat.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, sorry. What about EP?
He's not a thing.
It's not a
1
flat.
O and then E again, which is O. So
Yeah.
we're way off.
Oh, well.
We're way off the rails.
Whatever. I think EP 100 EP was kind of cool though.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right. We'll figure it out though. Do you want to, since Kyle and Drew here, bring them in here and talk with them for a second, see what the fuck they're up to?
Sure. Let's give them a little teaser. This will be the episode 100 teaser
Yeah, kind of leading into what we're getting ready to go do.
coming up.
We're gonna go dive into this thing. I think we're gonna rock it hard. I'm really excited. Dallas, you've never jammed with Kyle or Drew.
Not so much.
It's
no.
gonna be fun.
Are
It's
we
gonna be fun.
eating before this or what?
There's supposedly pizza on the way.
Okay, now counter argument. What if we just
Counter argument against pizza?
no counter argument to bringing them in to talk? What if we just I don't know where we're at. It looks like we're maybe at 45 minutes or so. 30, 38, something like that. What if we just wrap up in the next couple minutes here and just leave this one as this,
and then come back
and
in?
then just bring them in after. Just move on with the show.
That's fine.
That works for me.
I'm fine with me. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So let's make sure we covered all our topics here.
Yeah, I think we.
Kemper Talk. What is that?
Oh, just yeah. So we're using Kempers. We talked about that earlier in the setup. I guess it's kind of redundant, but Mike Prescott graciously lent us his Kemper. So shout out to Mike. Thank you so much. And
Yes.
we are gonna be using some pretty cool tones. There's the Dallas and Mike Prescott's Kempers are loaded to the teeth with some cool
I
fucking
think mine
tones.
has like between 500 and 700 rigs.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And some of
So-
it's like, 12 different takes on the same
All I
Marshall,
wanted
but
to do is kind of like shout out the fact that like the Kemper makes this recording
Very
process
possible. Yeah.
really awesome. Like it makes
Yeah,
just-
because what we do, and we've maybe talked about this before, but we're recording live. So
right,
the drums are live in the room.
and then everybody else is recording.
Everyone
direct
else is
in.
recording through direct stuff,
Yeah.
but we all have headphones on so we can all hear everybody. Now, if you're standing outside the door, all you hear is drums.
Exactly.
But if you're in the room with the headphones, you hear the whole band. And I can roll over here and hit record,
Yep.
and we can record everything right there to get ideas down
Yep.
and all kinds of cool stuff. So
Yep. So basically, we're preserving the room to record the drums. Like we don't want anything else to get picked up while we record the drums. Like while we're in there
right,
recording.
because if we were recording with amps and stuff,
Then
now
that would be in
the
the
drum
mix with
snare
all-
mic is also picking up amp noise.
Yes,
And
which is impossible
Kyle's
to get
amps
rid of.
going and the bass amps going
Yes.
and Matt's singing in the background. All of a sudden,
Yes.
it's just a train wreck.
Yeah, and that's
Now,
where you get
if you played perfectly
right.
and got one take that was flawless from everybody in the same room, and
that
and,
works.
and I didn't flub a note where you had a perfect take, then you could do that.
Yes, but in order to make
To
sure
my
that-
knowledge, that's never even really been done in history. Like,
well, maybe back in the day. I bet in early recordings.
but they would still put like the amp like in a different room, the bass amp in a different room, the singer in a booth. You know what I mean?
some kind of like a
They would
block,
spread like you can record live
isolation.
amps. You just have to have the right studio to do it, which we're just in one room, so
Yep.
that's not really working.
Some kind of isolation.
But you can do it like drums in the drum room, and all the people are in the drum room, but the guitar cabs are in an isolation booth. The vocalist is in an isolation booth.
Right.
Stuff like that. So
Right. I just imagine
not doing that,
there was a
but-
lot of experimental when recording first started being even possible. Like remember they had the way they recorded was to it was in a machine that basically felt the vibrations and then transferred those vibrations into a needle. It was like
I
a direct.
don't know a lot about the science of it.
That's
At least
essentially
definitely the old science.
what
of it.
I know is it was a turntable type device
Mm-hmm.
with a wet or some kind of like replicate or like pick up. I don't know what the fucking thing is, like a malleable surface that the needle could drag across,
Right,
and
like
when
cut it,
and when that
yeah.
needle bounces, right, like cutting it, and when the needle bounces, it leaves divots or whatever, and then you go back and you play it on a needle that reads the thing and it plays it again.
you have a
That was-
writing needle
I
and
think
a
that was the
reading
very first like recording attempt, I think, in my mind.
This is changing the subject, but I just saw this earlier and thought it was really cool. The NAMM show's going on right now.
Yeah,
Which means we're about to see a lot of stuff coming out.
new
And
technology.
one of the things that just popped out at me is Universal Audio has released a DAW. So a competitor to
it?
Pro Tools, Logic.
No
all that.
way.
It's called Luna.
How is it
And,
free? Is it expensive? Is it?
I don't know a lot about it. It's free if you have a Universal Audio interface. It's supposed to be pretty
Okay.
awesome. It looked pretty awesome. It's
Awesome.
got like tape emulators built in, master like Neve console emulators built in. Like so basically like you're using those things by default. You don't have to have like third party software
Right.
to do it.
Right.
So it looked
So it
pretty
comes with
fascinating
plugins,
and
basically.
could be motivating for a lot of people to switch if it ends up being cool.
And I wonder how affordable it is. You know, if you get it for free with a Universal Audio device, then I mean, that seems pretty affordable. Like, you just pick that device.
Universal Audio devices are pretty expensive.
Oh, are
Those
they?
Apollos are like $800 for like the 2-channel one.
Maybe they're taking all that
So
extra
like to
money
get the like equivalent of the one I have, which
Yeah.
is $400, it's
Yeah.
probably like $1,500 maybe.
Ooh, okay, so then they're getting a pretty penny from you anyway.
I don't
so
know if that's
Maybe they're
accurate,
putting
but
all that money into DAW research and design. They've been doing
yeah,
it all.
yeah.
They've been doing it all this time.
I'm excited to check it out though. I love trying new DAWs and I
Sure.
own most of them.
Sure.
So I own I don't own Logic.
Keep
but
us
I've used it
updated
plenty.
if you try it and how expensive it is.
I
and
own Cubase,
comparisons.
Ableton, Digital Performer, and Pro Tools.
Yeah, I think everybody should get used to using DAWs if you're a musician.
You should at least know your way around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're going to be in the studio talking to a producer, like it helps just to know what you're looking at when you look at that screen, because I think a lot of people are shocked when they look at it and they're like,
Yeah.
don't
Don't
look
get
at all
too
this.
good at it though, because, and I'm not saying I'm
Oh,
necessarily.
don't be a backseat fucking producer.
Well, I'm not saying I'm necessarily too good at it, but I've been in so many situations where I know more about Pro Tools than the guy running it.
Right.
It gives me so much anxiety.
that's not a problem being too good at it, but it gives you a little anxiety. I mean,
Well, especially if they're so slow and you're sitting there paying by the
yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, can I just do this real quick? I'll
Yeah.
be so much faster. Like,
well,
do you know this trick? Let me show you this trick
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is going to
yeah.
make everything 10 times faster for you. Like,
yeah, you get a little impatient like I do too. And,
Yeah.
and that's good though. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with showing somebody a way to do something faster, you know. But you got to do
Yeah.
it with tact. That's the big thing.
If you're paying by the project, I just have to let it go.
Yes.
Sit in the back and just be
If you're
like,
paying
he's gonna get it
hourly,
done, and I'm just gonna
if you're
chill.
paying hourly,
If you're paying
then-
hourly, I might have some stuff to
Yes,
say. Yeah.
yes. There's gonna be a talk.
Just record the files,
Your
send me the
rate's gonna
files,
go
like-
down if you can't do this faster. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I'm taking money off the.
This is a 2-hour project. If it takes 6, I'm paying you for 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways,
that
was a good talk. Let's
and
get
then-
in and go dive in, and then we'll come back with Drew and Kyle. You got anything else?
You said name that EP. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
we were
that
talking.
is.
Remember, that's the EP 100.
Oh,
EP.
name the EP.
The
Oh,
EP,
gotcha,
that
gotcha.
one we're doing now.
I thought it was like a game. Or
No, that's
something.
what. No, that's what I was talking about.
Name
new
that
game. We're gonna name that EP. All right, here's a little clip from this band you've never heard of. Name that EP.
It's all local bands.
It's all just
Like
crazy.
nobody
like,
knows who.
abstract shit.
Yeah.
This band's from Guam.
Drew would know all of them.
Drew knows every one
Yeah.
of them. Drew's,
Yeah.
he runs the podcast for that for those bands.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Anyways, let's wrap up. Final thoughts, closing thoughts.
Let's go rock. I'm ready
Episode
to
100
rock.
is coming. And we're
Episode
gonna
100, man. I
maybe
can't believe
snack
it.
and talk
Triple
about
digits.
some stuff, and then we'll get in here and start recording.
Peace.
See ya.